Welcome back to another episode of Silent Pals Go to the Movies. This is another Throwback Thursday review. Touly is busy, so I'm going to be reviewing Chinatown by myself. And just a fair warning, there's going to be spoilers up ahead, so you've been warned. A private detective hired to expose an adulterer in 1930s Los Angeles finds himself caught up in a web of deceit, corruption, and murder. So let's begin with my first pro. First, let's talk about the cast and the director. We have big names such as Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway, John Huston, Burt Young, Perry Lopez, and James Hahn. Also, the director Roman Polanski had a role in the movie, so all these big names come together and it really immerses you into the time period, not just by the costumes, but the speech that the actors used. And believe me, words can either make or break a movie. An example was the way they said Alameda, which is the present pronunciation of the city, but back in the day, it was pronounced Alameda. So attention to things like this is really amazing for a film to take into consideration, and for that, I praise them. Also, the sceneries they use with the cinematography really does capture the LA from the 1930s. Since LA really has not updated their buildings, it's not hard to go around and just look at the right angle and imagine that you are back in those days. Put all these things together and I bet that the acting does act like the glue to sell this as one package. Next, the story starts up simple enough with the story of a detective and a damsel coming in and hiring him to catch her husband who might be cheating, and that is when we go down the rabbit hole. The plot begins to develop into something more interesting than a cheating husband, and then you add the underlying motives being something that is still present in LA or the whole state of California, the water crisis. This story does change, but it does in a way that feels like it's organic. It doesn't really feel like it hits you in the face out of nowhere. We discovered things just as Detective Jake Gittes, played by Jack Nicholson, finds them out too. Not off screen or in other cases or just came out of the blue. When he finds it, we find out about it. By the end of the movie, when everything is discovered, you are so invested in the film and characters that you are just left like Jake Gittes at the end of the movie, speechless. But hey, forget it, it's Chinatown. Next, the camera work. It's amazing since we feel like we're just always following Jake around. Wherever he goes, we're right there behind him. As a matter of fact, if you notice closely, Jake is present in all the scenes. And if it's not in the same frame, he might be the one who's talking to the character. So everything that Jake sees, we are seeing at the same time he is. So there's none of this off-screen discoveries or anything like that. Yes, the story does develop and characters do everything else, but according to Jake's perspective, everything that he's finding out and discovering for the case is the real time that we're seeing it. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And now moving on to my cons. One thing that's on my cons is how the director would argue with the actors during the filming. I feel that it was amazing that this film even got made and finished, because if it was nowadays, we would get incidents just like the Christian Bale Terminator rant. One story is how Jack Nicholson would have a TV in his trailer to watch the Lakers basketball game, and between takes, he would go in and watch the game. And one time, Roman actually got fed up and went into his trailer and broke the TV just to get him out and start filming. But if someone has stories to tell, it's Faye Dunaway. Like the time Roman pulled some of her hair out during an argument on set, or when she asked what's her motivation for the scene and he just replied, "Say the effing words, your salary is your motivation." Now, these are some things that actors nowadays would not have to go through or stand for, but if it did, I'm pretty sure TMC would be happy to get their hands on such stories. Next, I feel some of the scenes that Jake is involved in, he could have easily gotten killed, and for him not to carry a gun, it's somewhat unrealistic. But if they really wanted to sell this, and the reason that he didn't carry a gun with him would be to sell us with some flashbacks about the times that he was a cop back in Chinatown, and a scene or two or something that would make him not want to carry a gun or stop being a cop. This would make the audience get more behind him as a moral character, so we can actually see the line that he has drawn himself that he can't cross. Yes, he does some sneaky things, but he doesn't go over the line. He has standards and morals. That would give more credit to him as a character. So sell us that idea or give us a reason why he didn't have a gun and why he's always exposing himself to getting into these situations where he gets his nose cut. Next is the length of the film. Yes, it's a bit long. I wish it would have been taken down maybe 20 to 30 minutes. That would have been better. That way it would need some scenes to be taken out or the story to be condensed a little more and into a nice package. But if not, it's not a big deal, since nowadays we have movies that are a bit longer or extend over 3 hours. But for me, this was either the right length or I wanted it to be a shorter movie. So my grade for this movie is going to be an 8 out of 10. The movie was enjoyable. Maybe a few words that were in the movie that are not politically correct anymore is a negative, but everything else is well done. The script was well written and I enjoyed the movie from start to finish. So that does it for this review of Chinatown. Please join us next time where we are going to review The Lincoln Lawyer.
Took one for the team, huh?
Yeah.
Really shoot your clients, mother?
Damn right I did. She shot me first.
Well, glad you're better.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find our social media links below. And like always, keep watching movies.